Today, I'm going to show you how to be a pro in Gorilla Tag. Let's get started. If you haven't completed the tutorial first, do that first, and then come back and continue watching. When loading up the game, you realize right away that moving is going to be really difficult. Running around is the most unique part about Gorilla Tag because you use your hands and there's no buttons that affect the gameplay. Before you get started learning anything, you need to learn how to run. And right away, you're probably going too high and not going forward enough. And the way you want to run is you want to put your hand and run parallel to the ground. The less airtime you have, the faster you'll be able to go. So if you're jumping like this, you're not going very fast. But if you're running along the ground, you're going to be going really fast. So the best way is to be running along the ground. After some practicing, running will become very easy and you can just run around and you'll stay parallel to the ground. Next, we're going to learn how to jump. The way you jump is pretty simple. You want to hit as straight down as possible. You can practice by putting your hand down and just punching the ground as hard as you can. And then if you add some angle, you can start jumping in different directions. Jumping just takes time, but after some practice, jumping will become very easy. Next, we need to learn branching. Branching is essentially just jumping from branch to branch, trying to escape taggers. You can jump from branch to branch at random, or you can use routes. Routes are essentially a set of branches that you have memorized and will jump to regularly. I'll show you two routes. Here's the first one. If I'm getting chased up the ramp, you never want to go up here, because the tagger has a greater speed than you, so when running up here, the taggers are going to catch up to you. So we're going to jump up to this branch, up here, and then we can go anywhere we want from here. So if we're going fast, it looks like this. Something I like to do when doing this route is jump up here, and then go and start wall running, which we will learn later in the video. Now, this is just something you should know. It's never great to just stay on the ground because taggers will always be able to catch up to you because they have a slight jump boost advantage. So a route that I like to use if I'm being chased is I'll run up the slide and I'll bounce off around about right here and I'll land on the podium. And then after I'm here, I'll jump up to this branch and I can work my way across some of these branches, and now I'm away from the taggers. After a lot of practicing routes and branching, you will become better and better at it. Now that we know the basics of movement in Gorilla Tag, now we can start doing some of the harder things like wall running. But before we do that, we need to learn how to pinch climb. What's pinch climbing? Well, it's essentially just climbing. But the way you do it is you pinch and you pull up, and you pinch and you pull up. You can do this on any surface that has some sort of a point. The biggest note to this one is to pull yourself up and forward. Basically, you want to shove yourself towards the object that you want to climb. Because you'll notice while climbing it, you'll start going farther and farther away to the point where you can't even grab it anymore. So you need to pull yourself towards it and chuck yourself up. So pull yourself towards and chuck yourself up. This will take some practice, but it does get easier. You can do it on the big tree right here and climb yourself all the way to the top. Pull yourself towards it and pull yourself up. The hardest part is once you get right to this corner. You have to pull yourself not only forward but up. But after some practice there, you will be able to get to the top. This can be a great way to escape taggers if you're running on the ground. Another place you can pinch climb is right here. You can pinch climb all the way to the top. After you learn pinch climbing, you can learn wall jumping. It's as simple as it sounds, but it's harder to do. You're bouncing from wall to wall till you get to the top. A good way to practice this is to put your hand up and just jump to the right wall. You'll notice you have a little bit of stick time before you fall. You'll notice you stick and then fall. You stick and then fall. And so the way you practice this is you're going to put your hand to the right and you're going to jump to the left. Put your hand to the right, stick, jump to the left. Do this 3 times and then do it with your other hand. You're going to stick and then jump to the right. After you've done them 3 times on both sides, just continue repeating the process. Put your hand to the right, jump to the left. Stick, jump, stick, jump. Stick, jump. After some practicing, this will be super easy. Now that we know how to pinch climb and wall jump, we can learn how to wall climb. The way we're going to practice this is the same way. We're going to do the same process where we hit a wall and we stick. So we're going to hit and we have to chuck ourselves towards the other wall. So hit and then we stick. The hardest part about this is that we're not hitting straight off. We have to hit ourselves to the side. That way we're going into the wall. So we have to practice this over and over until we get the muscle memory. So now we're going to do the other side. We hit and we stick. We hit and we stick. After we've done that 3 times, we then repeat the process to climb to the top. But now instead of doing hit, stick, you'll start slipping. So you have to go hit, stick, hit, stick. Hit, stick. You have to go a little bit faster, but after some practice, you will get very good at it. Now we're going to learn how to wall run, which is essentially running across a wall. The way you do this is you're going to hit your arm straight down. The straighter you can hit down, the better. The way we're going to practice this is we're going to go to the base of the hollow tree right here. You see how there's a little bit of slant to the point where if I put my hands up, I'll slide down. You're going to go right to the center and you're just going to hit your arm straight down. You'll know you're doing it correctly if you don't start pushing yourself up or falling down. And you're just going to keep practicing. You're going to go all the way around this. Once you've made it around once, now we're going to go into the caves. Once in the caves, you're going to see there's the same kind of slant on the wall. We're going to start hitting straight down and doing the same thing. We're going to do this with the whole map for our right hand and our left hand. We don't want to slide down and we don't want to go too far up. Once you get here, just skip it and run across it. We're going to do that again with our left hand and go all the way back. Now that you've made it back, go back outside. Once you're back outside, make your way to the top of the hollow tree. Now that you've practiced hitting your arms straight down, the easiest place to wall run will be right here because that is where the walls are most slanted. We're going to jump on this wall right here. On this wall, we're going to work our way all the way over here, hitting our arms straight down. Once we're here, we can jump right here. You'll notice it's pretty slanted, so we're going to practice right here. We're just going to hit our arms straight down over and over. And once you feel comfortable doing this, you can start moving around, hitting your arms straight down every time. You will fall a lot, and this will be very frustrating, but eventually you will be able to do this. Every time before you get on to play, just go in the caves, go around the whole map with your right hand and with your left hand. Then what you're going to want to do is go out here and practice for a little bit, then see how much better you're able to do. With this process, it only took me a week of practicing before I was able to wall run. Now that you know how to do all these skills, go into a public lobby and play gorilla tag. And just practice playing the game. Once you've mastered wall climbing, wall running, branching, and you feel comfortable doing all these things, now we can move on to the advanced things, like elevator climbing. Elevator climbing is where you work your way to the wall jumping slabs, and if your arms are long enough, you should be able to walk all the way to the end like this. Because your arm is not a hitbox, you're able to walk through like this, which means you can pin your body and your hand to the wall like this. You're pulling your hand like this and pinning your body. So if I jump up and pin my body, I will not fall. So if we're going to climb this with one hand, what we have to do is start moving our hand in circles. The way this looks is you're going to be going in circles like this. This is faster because you don't have to take the time to jump to the other wall jumping slab. So if you're running from a tagger, this can be really fast, and you can use your other hand to go even faster. The next step is to jump to the other wall jumping slab. This only really works if you have really long arms. You can pin yourself right against the edge right here, and then you can swing out and grab it like this. The best way to explain this, you're pinned here. Once you wrap around, you're just pushing like this and grabbing the other side. And so with a lot of practice, you can start juking monkeys by jumping to the other wall jumping slab. A good juke to do if you're being chased by taggers is to spider climb up a wall and hit off. You can bounce over their heads to try and give yourself another opportunity to escape. If you're on Oculus Quest 2, then I'm about to show you an easier way to do this. For side quests, you're going to need a developer account. So look up how to make a developer account, then come back and continue watching. Now, I'm going to show you to make this easier for quest 1 or 2. We're going to need side quest. So go to the link in the description and download side quest for your corresponding device. Now that we have side quests installed, open it up and plug in your headset. You know it's connected when the light in the top left turns green. If it's yellow and says you need to authorize, put your headset on and click allow. Next, go to the settings icon in the top right. Now we're going to scroll down until we see refresh rate. Change that to 60 Hz. Keep scrolling until you see set FFR. Go ahead and turn that off. Keep scrolling down until you see this and change your texture size to 372. This makes everything look a lot nicer, and I just highly recommend it. Now that we have these settings changed, let's hop back in game. Now that your settings are changed, it becomes a lot easier to spider climb and wall run. That includes wall running on the slippery walls. There's not much of a tutorial, it just becomes super easy. But the way I do it is I'll move my hand in a circle like this, hitting off of the slippery walls. And now I have a completely different way to try and escape taggers. You still have to hit super hard, but it is a lot easier. And this does work on all the slippery walls. And if you feel like you're up for a challenge, go into competitive lobbies, where you'll find other people who are really skilled at the game, who will challenge your skill. If this tutorial was useful, be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.